Test, 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 test. Yes, sir. You already know what time it is. We officially back. Of course, this is your boy Los, and just want to welcome y'all. And you know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep it pushing. This is officially episode 66 of For the Love, and you're welcome. You know what I mean? But not even gonna lie, to start just trying to definitely do better with you know what I'm saying, availability and all that shit, and getting y'all this content out. You know what I mean? It's been like a couple weeks since the last one, so that means a lot of shit done popped off. You know, of course, starting with your boy Diddy, aka Puff Daddy, aka Sean Combs, aka Dr. Love or Brother Love, whatever the fuck you call it, aka the abuser. You know what I mean? Like, it's been some wild shit. And I do want to get into that because, like I said, it's been like 2 weeks at this point. You know what I mean? But I do want to address that because it's very a nasty thing to see, you know. So obviously I'm referring to the video that came out of him abusing Cassie. And this time it always hits hard when you get the concrete evidence and you see the visual of the accusations, because prior, you know, Cassie came out with the lawsuit, and even before the lawsuit, spoke of the abuse. But then it was kind of like a, we don't know, you know, this type of reasonable doubt or doubt regardless. And then when the video comes out, now I was like, oh, this motherfucker did it. You know what I'm saying? To see somebody come out of the room, chase somebody down, knock them out or knock them down, then proceed to kick them and stomp them, and then drag them while taking their belongings back into the situation. And also, while doing all of that, be in nothing but a towel. So in my mind, it's like you either was asleep or you just got out the fucking shower and made sure that this person who looks to be escaping the situation couldn't even escape the abuse that was probably happening prior to that video evidence. Because who knows, if the motherfucker did that when it was cameras around in the hotel / public establishment, just imagine what the nigga was doing behind doors. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely a telling thing. And it's sad because it's like you don't feel sorry for the motherfucker at all. It's fuck Diddy, but it's just sad because this is somebody that we give the label or the status of being the, I don't want to say savior, but more so like he was the guy in the culture. Like he made it cool to be ghetto fabulous. You know what I'm saying? In the late 90s or in the 90s. So to see that and to see him, you know, become a billionaire and kind of put this status on with black people and how black people should look in the limelight, to see that same nigga be this type of person and use his power and his influence in a negative way is the sad part. Because again, fuck that nigga. And however niggas want to feel about it, cool. But that's just a sad thing to see. But really with that, because again, I want to keep it short because it's been like a couple weeks now. The shit done marinated. Since then, he did the apology video. I'm sure niggas seen that shit on his IG where he dropped that and he pretty much apologized, you know, or did a fake apology if we keeping it a stack as far as like towards the situation and towards Cassie. He didn't say Cassie because legally, as they reported, he's not able to say Cassie, you know, but either way, that was his version of apologizing. To me, he apologized only because his ass got caught, because that nigga met that shit, and he probably did it a bunch of other times prior and even behind the scenes. And what I do want to say to that is that besides the whole, you know, flop legacy point, it's a nasty thing to see people since then and after the fact kind of come out now and say how they knew about this shit all along and how he was this person then, when if that's the case and you took the time now to speak on it, then what people not realizing is that you not really looking like the savior or the good guy that you think you are. You really sound like the motherfucker that allowed it, because when you only bringing this shit up when the nigga got caught with it and you want to bring shit up, then it's like you knew about this whole time but you ain't do shit to stop it. You get what I'm saying? So it's definitely a nasty thing to see. And again, this is no way, shape, or form defending Puff, because he's a nasty motherfucker and it's fuck Puff forever for that. But at the end of the day, for the niggas that's sitting here saying, "Oh, I saw this shit," like I saw him, fucking guys behind the scenes. I saw him beating up what such and such, doing this type of shit. I saw him threaten this. I saw him do that. If you saw that and you allowed it to marinate, you just as worse as the nigga that you accusing of doing the shit that you saw. You know what I'm saying? So it just tell you this. I say that to say that this whole industry is fucking wicked, and we don't know half of the shit that's going on. Like even now, they trying to correlate that to Hove potentially being this nasty nigga. And my personal, like, niggas may think it's biased because I think Hove is the greatest to me. But besides that, I don't see anything that Hove will even do in that regard. Like he wasn't even as fucking violent when he got attacked by Solange in the elevator. So again, that doesn't summarize everything. But if he didn't react and kept his composure in that scenario, then I just don't see a situation to where he's an abuser. You know what I'm saying? Like even with the grooming shit, they trying to make this man a groomer, like he's fucking with Beyonce as a minor, or he has like other hidden things that it's like, yo, until proven or we get that concrete evidence, then it's going to be doubt and pretty much, a lie. You know what I'm saying? But all that shit being said, like I said before, is definitely a sad thing, only because this is somebody that we should have been able to see grow old and be able to tell the legendary stories from the music standpoint, even if he had contract situations in the past with former bad boy artists like the Lots and the whole thing with Shine. To see them eventually come back with Puff and have good grace, and what I'm saying, just be able to see that the history he had with Big and the historical astronomical shit he did in the culture, what I'm saying, with Bad Boy, the fashion, becoming a billionaire, just showing the culture and showing black people this is what black men or just black people should even look like in this shit is inspiring. And just to see all of that shit get thrown out the window because this motherfucker is so brain dead in the fact that he wants to use his power and influence in a negative light, is some sad shit. We need better examples, you know what I'm saying? Like we need Nips, and we need motherfuckers that's really showing that we can be this and not weaponizing power, especially against our own. Cause it's like that shit don't serve us no good when we taking an ounce of what we think is power and throwing that against our own, and they're only gonna bring us down from that point. But you know what I'm saying? Enough of the Puff talk, because again, this shit been like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Definitely want to, send blessings to Cassie, because at the end of the day, she spoke her truth, which was pretty much the truth. And, we hope with her and other victims going through this and still going through this, that you find peace and just continue to live your life at that point, man. And we got to do better, man. Like, again, I'm one of the ones that feel like, out of respect, that people do have the right and reserve the right to have doubt in these type of situations. But we have to be responsible and not weaponizing that doubt to the next person, because a doubt is just simply that. You know what I'm saying? Not to weaponize it and make everybody have to believe that doubt, because at the end of the day, a lot of people, which is not wrong, is going to believe the accusation when they first hear it, as far as the person, alleging abuse from that person. But until proven wrong or guilty, we have the right to doubt that. You know what I'm saying? So in this situation, once the video came out, at that point, we saw firsthand this man abusing this woman. So to each his own. If you still listen to Puff, just like you still gonna listen to Kels, respect. You know what I'm saying? That's your right. That's your, however you feel. If you can separate the man from the art, then nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, he will still be Puff, and his stamp in the culture and the industry will still be there. We just know now that this same motherfucker is an abuser. You know what I mean? But yeah, so fuck all that. But that's the bad boy talk, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, this is episode 66. And this we definitely in the month of June, which means the summer is like floating right now. Like May done Usain Bolt out of this shit. May felt like 2 weeks. It's definitely getting hot. In Virginia, we definitely get 4 seasons in 24 hours. So, but lately it's been definitely scorching outside. You know what I'm saying? You probably can see me now. I got a little tan. You know what I mean? But I gotta get my black on. But besides the whole Diddy thing, because I did wanted to address that. It's been, a lot of shit that's been outside getting a tan, as you can see, like I said. Still on the sports, you know what I'm saying? It's currently NBA finals time officially, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, the past couple of weeks, we've been able to conclude the conference finals on both sides. And I would say in a dominant fashion, because on the East, you got the Celtics sweeping the Pacers, and of course going through injuries, and usually the healthier team wins. But Boston, from the beginning of the season, was supposed to come out of the East anyway, and they've been steamrolling through the season, and even in the playoffs, they've been able to, regardless how you see it with the injuries, they've been able to escape, or I don't want to say escape, but just steamroll through the playoffs pretty much. Like they, swept the Pacers in the first 2 rounds in the playoffs against Cleveland. And who did they play with Cleveland? They played Cleveland, and then they played Miami the first round, excuse me. So they went through 4-1 against those first 2 rounds, and then in the conference finals on Indiana, they got the sweep. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be in the finals. And then on the west side, you know what I'm saying, you got your boy Luka, who I call Jim Crow, because at the end of the day, he be cooking niggas, and it should be borderline racist as far as what he's doing on that court. Now, Luka do got to stop crying, but I don't care, because he cooking niggas. You know what I'm saying? And your boy Kyrie, who, kind of, they was trying to get rid of that nigga, you know what I mean? But they can't, because them niggas is back in the finals. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time for Luka. And as far as Dallas, they recently got through Minnesota and Anthony Edwards, and that was a 4-1 situation. So within the past week and a half, if not 2, we saw the conference finals, smoothly went through. And now we got the finals matchup between the Mavs and the Celtics, which is Boston, and Mavs is Dallas, of course. Now, me personally, you know what I'm saying, I'm rooting for Dallas, because I really don't have no. I just don't. I don't hate Boston, but it's just like I'm fucking with Dallas, bro. I'm fucking with Luka and Kyrie, man, to keep it a stat. Like, shit don't, like Kendrick said it, like with the whole back and forth, bro. So, shit don't got to be deep sometimes. It's just like I'm rooting for them niggas. I'm rooting for Rockefeller. You know what I mean? And June 6th is the date. So once this comes out, it will be around that point. And June 6th is game 1 of the finals. And hopefully Dallas can pull it off. And that'd be it until really, football season with sports, because baseball, that shit is from motherfucking beginning of the year to the end of the year, damn near. So baseball is baseball. Hockey is concluding. You know what I'm saying? Of course, after the finals, we do have the Olympics this year, because we are in Olympic season as far as the Olympic year, and that starts around mid-July. And of course, the the Team USA roster is kind of built like the dream team. You got Bron, Steph, and KD, and then you got Anthony Edwards, you got Book and Bede, who, who kind of did the switcheroo on Cameroon and went United States route. They banned that nigga from the country, but he said, fuck it, I'm trying to get this gold. And then you got Halliburton, and you got Drew Holiday, and, Bam Adebayo, and no Kyrie Irving. Kawhi Leonard's in there, which is crazy, but it's no Kyrie. So that's insane to me. But that's in summary as far as what the sports situation is looking like. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I'm trying to, be patient, because we have currently 1 week of no basketball. We do have the WNBA though, because no disrespect to the women, I'm definitely excited as far as how I see the league is being looked at now as far as the pro women's side. You know what I'm saying? A lot of viewerships and viewers is capturing the game. Now, in my personal opinion, that more so has to do with Caitlin Clark. A lot of people feel like it's Caitlin Clark versus the world. A lot of others just feel like it's a part of the game. I'm definitely one of the ones that's just feel like it is a part of the game. Like, at the end of the day, this is a pro league. This is not collegiate sports. And this is something that she's just going to have to adapt to. And in my opinion, I think she will. She just has to get mentally strong and just, get in the weight room, man, so you could toughen up and just start balling these motherfuckers. And then when you be able to play your game, then shit would turn around for what it is. And of course, throughout all of that being said, just learn to incorporate more shit in your game, so that way they have to look at you different and defend you different. You get what I'm saying? But besides all of that, you know what I'm saying? Because speaking of Caitlin Clark, she's representing the shift in the league, where she's bringing all of this attention that wasn't received in the past since the WNBA was formed, regardless of the fact that it was arguably, if not even arguably, greater talents prior to Caitlin Clark, but the fact that Caitlin brings the eyes to it. So now we in the conversation as to what the league is going to do to even bigger that. So when the Jujus come in, and, the other athletes like Paige Beckers and etc., then the league can be even bigger from there. You get what I'm saying? And the last thing, because, and it's not just Caitlin Clark, it's definitely, the Angel Reese's. Shout out to Angel Reese in Chicago. She out there doing her shit. I think she's perfectly adapting to the league and her situation. And that's strongly due to Caitlin Clark taking all the pressure and being given that role of controlling the narrative and the shift of the league, and being the number one pick, and being labeled as this, generational talent that gives Angel Reese, and even, the other rookies like Cameron Brink and, the Cardosos and etc., to just calmly adapt to the game, because they don't have that asset like Caitlin has. You know what I mean? But definitely shout out to Angel Reese. You know what I'm saying? Because she's looking like the rookie of the year right now. She's adapting in Chicago. I think Chicago is actually a dope team. They have one of those chemistries. But, and she's just keeping that energy. She's restoring the feeling as far as the women league. And I think it's just exciting in that regard, because you have a lot of more people that's now wanting to really see the game of women's pro ball, which to me was crazy, because like I said before, in prior arguments or, situations to where if you a fan of the game, then I feel like that should be enough to make you want to see pro game or pro basketball on either side, regardless if one is more athletic than the next. You know what I'm saying? But if it took Caitlin Clark to do that, whether if you think is, playing the white card or, the great white hope, then we don't have to, but it's like I acknowledge the fact that brought more league or more eyes into it. You know what I mean? But again, that's really that on that. And lastly, I will say, man, Indiana just need to, bro. They gotta get some enforcers on that team, man. They gotta get motherfuckers up there that's just gonna, defend the asset. Like the goal isn't to like protect Caitlin Clark per se, but like because the goal is to win games and potentially win championships. But obviously, when you have somebody as valuable besides the talent as a Caitlin Clark, then you need to have motherfuckers on your team that's going to be willing to pick up the slack and be that enforcer and thump motherfuckers when they thumping your mans, because lately no teammates has been picking her up from the floor. You got, the women on the other side, they're going to come after her. I personally think it's just competitiveness. It's nothing more than that. People say it's hate. I think it's just competition. At the end of the day, you are an opposition in this court. So I'm going to show you that this is a different situation than when you was in Iowa. You know what I'm saying? So once she builds that mental capacity and really stop playing with motherfuckers and just adapt, and then also have teammates that, really have that chemistry with her, because I don't think her in Indiana, as far as most of her teammates, are clicking. And that could be for a lot of reasons, but what I'm seeing is that they just not working. And, if I'm Indiana, I'm signing Liz Cambridge, man, or Cam bitch or Cambridge. I don't know, but the Australian chick, I'm signing her ASAP, because she's practically been blackballed from the pro league from her past actions and just, being solely physical and nothing related to the game. But this is a perfect time to sign Liz and do exactly that for Indiana when they are coming at Caitlin Clark, because she comes to Indiana and she doesn't have to be the main guy, or excuse me, the main girl. That was crazy. But like, she don't have to be the main girl like she was in LA and etc. So she can be that role player, still get her stats and still be productive on the basketball standpoint. But when it comes down to that, telling the opposition that we not to be fucked with, she would be that Draymond Green or that Dylan Brooks or that Matt Barnes to Indiana Fever for Caitlin Clark. Even a Charles Oakley to their Michael Jordan, however you want to compare it. But when they run into Caitlin Clark and just nudging her for whatever because she's Caitlin or however they feel, then you have that to, rebuttal to that. So now that gives the message to other teams that we're going to fuck with you if you fuck with us, rather than if you just fuck with us, we're just going to allow it. And that's why Indiana only has 2 fucking wins. You feel me? But that's pretty much the For the Love sports edition. You know what I'm saying? Of course, this is not ESPN. This is not the worldwide leader of sports. You know what I'm saying? We are the worldwide leader of, positivity, though. We are the worldwide leader of not doing fuckery. You feel me? And yeah, that's really with the sports. But continuing the pod, because like I said, we just getting started, and it's been a minute. I'm not trying to keep y'all with these gaps, man, because the last pod was, a good minute, but we keeping it pushing. It's been a lot of want to go back to music, because it's been a lot of music, and this whole year in 2024 has been, and it's been holding its own as one of the greatest music years, or just years period, since I would say 2016. And at the end, when it comes down to it, I think this year will be one of the ones from a music standpoint of being its best since. You know what I'm saying? So new music that came out since the last pod, Rap City came out with her album and it's definitely fire. Um the Rap City album is about 22 tracks long and it's definitely a dope album. Her album is called, I'm trying to see what it's called because it's definitely it's definitely one of the ones. I think I like the fact that she took the, I want to say, personal approach, whereas like for the longest since and rather if you're a real Rap City fan or not, we know Rap City as one that's barring motherfuckers up, that got bars that can spit. But this particular album, I think she really took her time and like became vulnerable and showed motherfuckers that, I'm really a human outside of just a person that can spit. You know what I'm saying? I think it's similar to what Absol did on his last album, Herbert. It's fire, and I think he really took the time to showcase not only that I can rap with the best of them, because that's been proven, but I can really give you perspective of the shit that I've been through since. So it's definitely a dope album, 22 tracks long, but it doesn't feel like 22 wasted tracks or fillers at all. And the album, by the way, is called Please Don't Cry. You know what I'm saying? Definitely check it out on DSPs. It's definitely one of the ones. Besides rap, of course you got Common and Pete Rock. You know what I'm saying? They are announcing their new album. I'm not sure what the album is called, but definitely excited from a hip hop fan standpoint. When you hear, greats coming together and even greats dropping new music, it's that automatic gravitational pull to even listen to it just off the strength of who they are. You know what I'm saying? So Common being a legendary MC, Pete Rock being a legendary producer, and those two coming together to make a producer collab album. So to hear Common on straight Pete Rock beats, and I don't know if it's going to be all Pete Rock beats or if they're going to, do some separate, but I'm assuming so. So just to hear that is just fire. You know what I'm saying? Again, I don't know what it's called, but definitely looking forward to listening to that because it's been a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's been a lot of great music so far. Like to me, as we're entering June, which is about the halfway mark of the year, I still got Schoolboy Q with the album of the year, or the rap album of the year, let me say that, with Blue Lips. And that's been out since March. You know what I'm saying? And of course, we had the Metro albums, and then pretty much the back and forth with the, on Wax beefs and all that. But and then but because really besides that, the only other thing as far as new releases that came out since the last was the Eminem single, the Houdini record. So I did wanted to expound on that because, of course, this is another legend in the game. This is Eminem, this is Slim Shady, like, and this is his first single off his upcoming album, The Death of Slim Shady. I don't know if he's going to stick with that name or if he's going to change it up, but so far that's the name that he rolled out. And I kind of get it. I think it's a dope situation that he's doing as far as like the full circleness of it, like how in the beginning he was introduced to Slim Shady with the blonde hair, and now we know him as, Marshall Mathers, the human, the person, and he's grown. Of course, he's been sober for a couple of years after he almost OD'd. So the fact that he switched and he's kind of bringing the what we first known him to be kind of back, but he's kind of killing it. It's kind of giving off that vibe if he's like potentially retiring or if he's just killing that character and just be able to move on as who we know him to be now. You know what I'm saying? So all that being said, the Houdini record comes out, and with the rollout, he's, on FaceTime with David Blaine, and he's saying how for my last wish, I'm going to, end my career and stuff like that. And then the song comes out. Now, to keep it on the song, because y'all already know I'm going to keep it a stack with y'all. The song, to me, from an overall standpoint, it was trash. I thought it was terrible. Now, he's saying things on the record that he got a couple bars in there, but overall, it was like a typical Eminem type of record, or more so single, to catch your attention. It was definitely an Eminem approach. I understood what he was trying to do, because the song is kind of in mirrored of the Guess Who's Back, once, like the Slim Shady record and the How My Name Is. Like in the beginning, he's saying Guess Who's Back, but he's having other, rappers saying this. And this is the video that I'm talking about, y'all, too, because he dropped the video to the record. And that's another thing, because when you listening to the single alone, it's definitely not a great experience or a great listen, in my opinion. I think it's definitely on the bad side. But when you put it with the video and you see what he does with the visuals, and he's kind of restoring the feeling, he's bringing back the nostalgic of what we saw him being introduced the first time, with the blonde hair. He's in the Robin suit from back in the day with Dre, and he's having like hip hop legends on the video, like saying Guess Who's Back. So he's showcasing what we saw him in the beginning, and he's kind of like killing that to kind of transition to what we know him to be now, or he could be potentially retiring. So the video was a dope visual, but the song wasn't good. Like the beat was elementary. The bars was some bars that was cool. He had a lot of Slim Shady bars, like the Meg bar. That was something that captured a lot of people's attention, because he did a Meg flip as far as her situation with Tory Lanez getting shot at the foot. He was saying something like, I wonder if I shoot at Meg for a collab, would I have a shot at her feet? I'm fucking the line up, but it's something in regards to shooting a shot at Meg, and would he have a chance at a feet? And he's flipping feet as feature. So to me, it's a Slim Shady bar. Is absolutely what we know Eminem for, but a lot of people took it as a diss. And even on the same record, he's shooting at his daughter as far as being married lately. So if he's aiming these, whatever you want to, like these Slim Shady bars at his own daughter, then what you think he's doing with Meg? So he's not dissing neither. But a lot of people, like the internet, took it as a diss, not knowing in context who this man really is and how he plays off current topics and current events. But in summary, bro, the record was trash to me. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it a buck. It won't like, okay, it was bad. It's not a record I'm gonna play again in the car or in any other setting. But when you watch it with the video, it makes more sense with the visual. And it being his first single, I could kind of understand that too, because it's just like in the beginning when he first came out with How My Name Is, it was more so like it was like a parody type feel, but it didn't correlate to what we know from the rest of the album on Marshall Mathers LP, or the Slim Shady LP. So that's kind of the approach I think he's taking. But I would love to hear Eminem use the context on his fucking phone and call The Alchemist and call Dr. Dre and call any other producer and spit on these hard beats. Like Eminem on an Alchemist beat would be crazy. Eminem on a Meet the Grams beat is crazy, because that's Alchemist. So imagine Eminem on that type of beat and he just barring you up. It would give a better listen rather than him rapping on these elementary ass beats. And I give it a pass because it's the single. So this is the single that's supposed to capture everybody's attention for the album. For me, it didn't do that because I want to be able to be like, okay, this is how he's coming. But I also take in fact that this is just the first single, and I don't think that the whole album is going to sound like that because this is like a comedic approach. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. It's definitely Eminem, just like Common and Pete Rock. This is somebody that I will give the respect out of who they are and their statue to give it a listen regardless when it does drop. And at that point, y'all will hear me give a review on what the fuck it is because at the end of the day, it's music and it's subjective. But if it's trash, it's trash. And if it's fire, this shit is fire. You know what I mean? But that's the year 2024 for your ass because like I said, it's been one of those years where it's going to go down. It's like, if not, the best years as far as music in the past 20 years or since 2016. Because 2016, that's when we got the Drake and Meek situation. We got the back-to-back. We had all these other great albums in 2016. And that shit was a moment. Even Summertime was the shit. It felt great outside. The atmosphere was just wild. But this year, it's just been a lot of conflict. It's been a lot of button heads. It's been a lot of, you know what I'm saying, like standing on business, as motherfuckers say. There's been a lot of that type of shit, and the latest beef, speaking on beefs, are women. You know what I'm saying? We finally got we finally got action on the women's side between Cardi B and Bia. You know what I'm saying? And definitely shout out to Glow and Meg, who is currently on tour right now doing their thing. Like Meg is on tour with Glow and they popping, so it's good to see women in hip hop just do their shit because in my opinion there's no such thing as women rappers. It's just rappers who just happen to be women, and then you have rappers who are men. And being that is a male dominant genre, we just know that there's rappers now that are women and that's currently dominating this shit. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Sexy Red because a lot of people don't fuck with Sexy, but I think she's dope. She was in wrestling and shit. I see her next to Shawn Michaels and she's twerking on the wrestling ring. I'm like, yeah, this shit is fire. You know what I mean? I support everything Sexy Red does. By the way, this is a Sexy Red podcast. You know what I mean? But all that being said, besides the positivity, of course, it's negativity, man. It's egos. It's, I'm that bitch type of vibe. It's that type of mentality. And apparently, Cardi B and Bia are not seeing eye to eye. They not fucking with each other. It came from the situation where Cardi dropped her recent single that had the Missy sample, and she was alleged to be copying Bia off her record. It was like I'm that bitch type record, and it was sampling Missy as well. So they coincidentally had the same sample, and one was accused of copying the other. And then as of 24 to 48 hours later, or not later, but 24 to 48 hours ago from this time you hear this pod come out, Cardi B was on the remix to the Glorilla and Meg record, and Cardi was bombing on Bia. You know what I'm saying? Keeping the rap shit alive, keeping the, competition alive from the whole, we just got finished listening and witnessing arguably one of the greatest rap battles in hip hop history in terms of Drake and Kendrick. And, the women now are keeping the same energy. So Cardi responds on the remix, and then not even a day later, if not a couple hours, Bia responds with a record aiming at Cardi. And Cardi's on live explaining the whole beef, saying that she, it was always something between them, whatever. And because I'm not going to go into it because to me, I think the shit should just stay in rap. Like all that explaining shit and saying you're going to sue motherfuckers is wild to me because this shit is rap. And now that Bia responded, I feel like it's on Cardi now because if that's what we on, because again, we just talking about rap. Anything else outside of that is not what we trying to see. That shit is corny. Like they both big and they right. I fuck with Bia. Like, you know what I'm saying? Um, Bia is one of the ones I think she can spit. Me personally, I think she can rap better than Cardi. But we're not gonna deny Cardi for who Cardi is and her platform. So to see both being on wax, aiming at each other, I better just see competition, man, and just keep it that, you know. So now that Bia responded, and I think the Bia response was cool. Obviously, you can hear the beat being influenced by the Like That instrumental from Metro. So shout out to Kendrick for that, and shout out to Metro for that, because now that set the tone as far as beats and how they gonna do that. And the overall song was, you know what I'm saying? It won't like, oh shit, but it's dope to see motherfuckers keep that energy and keep it wax and get in the booth and just spit. And now I just want to see that with Cardi. Like, yeah, you can explain the whole situation on live, but at this point, if somebody's rapping at you, I don't want to hear nobody talk. I want to hear raps. So it's just like, you know what I mean? That's just about it. But other than that, shout out to the women, man, because like I said, y'all keeping this shit more hip hop than the niggas. You know what I mean? Like all these niggas is talking about this shit and getting sensitive to certain things and all that. Yo, but when I saw you, it was love, bro. Like fuck all that shit, bro. Rap. Like as soon as you get this, get in the booth and rap back. Like let's keep it a stat and credit these women for keeping this shit more hip hop than these niggas. You understand? And shout out to the niggas for getting their fingernails painted more than the more than the women. Shit is crazy. But that's where we at. And this is the culture now. Ain't that some shit? I blame AI. Damn, son. I blame AI, my niggas. Since AI came out, niggas start painting their nails. Niggas start, you know what I mean? Start goddamn doing some other shit. They on TikTok doing the drop it like it's hot. It's just like, this shit is wild. I don't know what the fuck going on. That's why I'm inside the crib. Because once you step outside, shit is left out here. You feel me? Like just the other day, I was walking and then the fiend just walked up on me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know about me and the fiends, man. I got love for them. Just like I got love for everybody from babies up until old age. But the fiend walked up to me, man. His name was Tony, by the way. Shout out to Tony. You know what I'm saying? Down Little Creek. He walked up on me, son, and was like, yo, it only goes up from here. And when he said that shit, I was like, damn, you know what? Nigga ain't lying. Because it only goes up from here. Wherever you thinking, it only goes up from that point. And if it goes down, you just got to change your perspective, B. So I say that to say shout out to Tony, you know what I mean? Because he gave the motivation, and we got to keep that shit alive for the good brother, you know what I mean? But we're going to keep this shit going, man, because besides the music, I really think that's about it with the music, because it's a lot more. Still listening to the same shit. Like I said, Q shit been out. That's the rap album of the year so far to me. We still got half of the year to go. So who knows who's dropping. But Q definitely got it right now. And Rap City got an album as well. And I'm just looking forward to the legends that's, you know, dropping content to this day, because we need the legends to do shit. And even if they don't and take that grace and just fall into their legacy, they have the right to do that too. Like I always say, it's a beauty in both situations. For example, it's a beauty in what Hove's doing, and it's a beauty in what Nas is doing. To be able to be in the same age range, and one is just taking that grace and being who they are as far as they name, and Nas being, you know, the hip hop golden child and being active and dropping just heat rocks, heat bombs. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiness in both. You know what I'm saying? And once we understand that, then motherfuckers can stop bitching and just enjoy what the fuck we giving. You know what I mean? But I think that's shit. What else we got? I lied to y'all because I definitely did say that that was it for music, and I definitely capped, as niggas say, because I did wanted to speak on the Apple Music Best 100 Albums that was concluded within the last week of May. And to keep it short, because again, 100 albums is a lot of fucking albums. So of course, on this pod, I'm not gonna go over 100 fucking albums. I'm more so do want to dive into the top 10, because the 100 albums, this is all genres, of course. So this is not focusing on hip hop or rap. This is hip hop. This is R&B. This is bluegrass. This is country. This is rock. This is all genres that circulate the world. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you have your Bob Marleys in there. You have your Nirvanas. You have your country artists. Like, you have your R&B. You have your rap, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? The top 10 was definitely Beyonce with Lemonade. Beyonce ended up with 2 albums in the top 100. Mike did not have 2 albums in the top 100, which is blasphemous. He had Thriller in the top 10. That was number 2. And of course, you had Prince, who had 2 albums in the top 100. You know what I'm saying? You had no Mariah Carey in the top 100, because, mind you, as I'm going through this, these are just bullet points of what the list consists of and what I felt throughout the list, because at the end of the day, I want people to understand that there's no such thing as the greatest album of all time. Like, that shit literally makes no sense. All this shit is subjectiveness. Everybody has different preferences and different feels towards music, to where it doesn't make any sense to have a greatest album of all time. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, at the end, the number 1 album for Apple Music, and like I said, we got to understand that this is Apple Music, no different than Rolling Stone, Complex, all these media platform motherfuckers that think they know everything within music and can attest to what they think those 100 albums are absolutely the best 100 albums. Because, mind you, Life After Death wasn't on that top 100. You know what I'm saying? You had Good Kid, Mad City, and shout out to Kendrick. I'm a big Kendrick fan, but at the end of the day, when you put Good Kid, Mad City as a number 7 slot, which to me is definitely a top 100 album, but when you have it above All Eyes on Me, or Me Against the World, and Illmatic, and Reasonable Doubt, and, you know, I can go on and on and on. Pretty much you have it as the greatest pure hip hop rap album of all time at number 7, because the only technical rap album above that was Lauryn Hill, Miseducation, which was the number 1 album to Apple Music. Now, to me, Miseducation is absolutely a top 5 and not a top 3 album of all time in music. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at that, but it's all subjectiveness. So a lot of people will agree and a lot of people will disagree. You get what I'm saying? But that being number 1, Thriller is number 2. Me personally, Thriller, I will put that over Miseducation, but I'm not mad at that either. You know, shout out my sis. I think she would love the fact that Lauren was number 1. You know what I'm saying? Because that's Lauryn Hill is one of her biggest fans. You know what I mean? But Good Kid being at number 7 was wild, because it's definitely, in my opinion, it's a legendary classic album currently, especially in this generation, as far as the 2010s and up. But it's not better, in my opinion, than Blueprint, Illmatic, you know what I'm saying, Life After Death, or Ready to Die, or you know what I'm saying, Get Rich or Die Trying. Like, is these albums that they put above those classics. And it's only, in my opinion, because of the recent bias with the whole Kendrick Drake situation just passing through, and seeing how, you know, universally that Kendrick is the victor in that situation, that they will put Good Kid, Mad City at number 7. You get what I'm saying? So definitely just another nasty list, because this is not the first time on the pod where I recapped and went over a list, whether if it was a top 100, top 20, top 50, top 10, whatever. It's all subjectiveness and whatever you think it is, as far as greatest albums, could be the case, but there's no such thing as that shit. So niggas gotta understand that and stop putting so many fucking efforts into a fucking list, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's that deep to a nigga, then you take the time and put together a fucking list, especially 100 albums. You know what I mean? But shout out to Apple Music for creating the conversation, because that's all these lists do, is bring the conversation and make a whole discussion about what we think should be the case and what it is and what they doing. You know what I mean? But I definitely wanted to report that because within the past couple weeks, that shit has been coming out and it's caused a conversation and, you know, strong debates as far as what we think this is and what we think that is. You know what I mean? But that is all the case with the whole music scenario, you get what I'm saying? But that's really about it. You know what I'm saying? Again, we leading on to an hour of the pod, you know what I'm saying? But before I do check out, you know what I'm saying, of course, as always, I didn't get it through in the beginning, but I do want to thank all my supporters. I normally do that in the beginning. I definitely forgot because I was in mode, and when we potting, we just potting, so we got to get this shit out. But as always, and of course, I want to thank my supporters out there. You know what I'm saying? All my DSP listeners and my YouTube subscribers. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's for the LUV. Again, that's for the LUV podcast on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, like and comment, all that shit. Hit me up on socials or personally if you already know who I am for the merch. Like I said, shout out to my brother Pat Super. We got the Super clothing. Check his website. The official For the Love merch is out. It's officially spring, summertime. So that means the t-shirts is out there. And cop, man, you know what I'm saying? Support local black businesses. You know what I mean? But even if you don't cop, it's cool, man. It's no pressure. But, you know, even though I think you'll look good in the t-shirt, you know what I'm saying? Word of mouth is perfect. Just subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend that know a friend that don't know a friend. Because that means we got more friends, you understand? And last but not least, I do want to get this off on a personal note because on the side lately, I just found out that a good friend of mine passed away. His name, good brother Justin, man. I met him through a social app called Clubhouse. And I want to keep it short because, I don't want to get too deep, but I just want to send my prayers and my condolences to his family, his pops, you know what I'm saying? Pops, definitely shout out to you, my brother. His wife, Raven, definitely, thinking about you. My prayers is to you and the babies, you know what I'm saying? And just knowing that brother and being blessed with his presence and just sharing laughs and memories with him. I'm going to just keep thinking about those, especially the memories that we shared through the chat. You know what I'm saying? Nothing but laughs and just saying all of this without getting more into it because I just want people to just remember that we really don't have one life to live. We have multiple chances to live our lives. So definitely do that and do it to the best of your capabilities and just hug your loved ones, man. Whoever you deem your loved ones to be, definitely hug them, man. Squeeze them tight and just get the best out of your life, man, because at the end of the day, the goal is not to pay bills, work and die. You feel me? So definitely just sending my wishes to the friends and family of the good brother. And rest in peace to my good brother Justin, man. On that note, I will say this is episode 66 again. And this is your boy Los. And I'm out. God bless.